I'm Kiera Morgan. Thanks for joining me on this episode of Coffee with Kiera, sponsored by the Human Beam in, there it is, Newport and Lincoln City. And today I'm being joined by Dale Emanuel with Goodwill Industries. Hi, Dale.
Hi there. Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it.
We're glad to have you back. We did a little update a few months ago, but we're heading into a new season. So before we start into that, why don't you remind folks a little bit about Goodwill and what it is that you guys do?
Well, Goodwill has been around for a long time. This Goodwill system in the Pacific Northwest, Northwest Oregon, Central Oregon, and Southwest Washington was founded in 1927. And what we do is we welcome your donations with gratitude and we sell them to anybody. And with those revenues, we allow people to access free job services, such as a big program in your area called Job Connection.
Wonderful. And let's talk a little bit about the season. We're in fall right now, and that is a big time for you guys, isn't it?
It really is a big time for Goodwills across North America, I think, because of Halloween. And the weather really changes for a lot of parts of the country, especially there on the coast, right? It gets a lot cooler. I was speaking with Jack Sumner, who is the manager of your Lincoln City store, and he said of all items most popular for sale is clothing. Clothing is what people ask about and what they buy. And right now in your store in particular in Lincoln City, he's seeing a lot of leisure wear, a lot of coats and jackets go. Is it getting cold out there? I'm in Portland. I would not know.
It's getting a little bit chilly. And
right.
Of course, a lot of folks that come from a warmer area and they come to the coast, it's always a little colder here. And so one of the things I've noticed is when I bring guests into town, the first place they want to stop is to go and get a sweatshirt or a jacket because it is a little windier here on the coast. Are you finding that as well?
Well, it's cooling down a little bit, though. It's going to get a little warmer as we go into the week, but fall is definitely here. This is the first full day of fall. So, and that in fact is what people are doing in our Lincoln City store. Is they're really gravitating towards the clothing. When it comes to Halloween, it's interesting. So, the pandemic has made everything kind of a puzzle for us, and we saw last year a lot of behavior in the way of home goods, decor. Puzzles and books, because we were inside an awful lot, and I think we wanted to bring happy inside and change it up a bit. We did have control over that, right? But what I've been told concerning your Lincoln City store, it's very interesting. We have lots and lots of costumes ready to roll, and Halloween decor still is kind of sitting there. So I think people might be wondering, are we going to be trick-or-treating? Are we going to be spending time with our families inside? And what does that look like? The good news is, if you do need a Halloween costume or you do need decor, Jack says we have an awful lot, really good stuff. Your donations are interesting too. The flow of goods coming in is matching what it was in 2019. So folks in 2020 still bought, right? And they're still replacing and giving us what they might think somebody else might like. So that's kind of interesting too, I think.
And let's talk a little bit about the jobs program that you mentioned.
Yeah, let me grab my notes so I get it right just for you. Shane Orth is really a wonderful employment specialist, and he's available. If somebody wants to make an appointment or walk in, he is at the Newport store. That's the boutique. It's Goodwill and Cape. He's there Monday and Friday, and that's, let's see, 9:45 to 6:15. And he's at the Lincoln City store 3 days a week, and that is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, 9 to 5:30. And or it's easy to access us at meetgoodwill.org and click on find a job, and you can find us very easily on the website too. Placements. the people who are coming in are just being employed as fast as they come in. So if you need help navigating this very strange job market, please let us help you. We can help you on the phone, in person, remotely. What Shane is finding is we work with an awful lot of businesses, and they're really grateful for the help because, as you know, and just like us too, we're looking for employees at Goodwill. Lots of businesses are really struggling to now provide service because things have been so rough. So what he's finding is still our biggest employers in town are tourist related employers, grocery, restaurant, rentals are big, and cleaning and selling rentals are big. But he's finding there is difficulty in folks navigating online, getting work. And that may be because staff is low or they haven't update their website. So that's another way we can help you. And as an employer, certainly reach out to Shane via meetgoodwill.org or come see him so he can get what your needs are and look through his long participation list of people looking for work who are job ready and get them to you. He has been finding, and I know you probably already know this, that a lot of employers are getting more relaxed in application and screening. They're boosting salaries and our bonuses, but there is a big disconnect on the internet. So he's finding that folks are really grateful for the help. And he also has his ear to ground, and he knows who's looking for what. And he also knows who are the favored employers, because he hears back from people who aren't happy or who are very happy. So he's a wonderful, wonderful resource. If folks are interested in charity work for Goodwill nonprofit work, we do have openings. I think only a supervisor is needed at the Newport boutique, which we can talk about. It's very unique. And oh, Jack was just telling me over at the Lincoln City store, he has a list of folks he's looking for, and he can most of these can be made into part-time and or full-time, but he needs from assistant manager to supervisor to cashiers to people working in the back in the production area. Behind every retail floor, every Goodwill retail floor, you'll find a much larger area typically of where people produce what comes in. So that's a great place to keep very, very busy. So, and of course you can talk to Shane about that, and you can go in store and talk to Jack about how that all works. Let's see. Oh, I thought this was really interesting. And I bet this is not so surprising to you because this is your home, but I thought it was really cool. One of the big sellers in Lincoln City in particular, and especially if you can compare it to the other stores that we have, and we have quite a few other stores in our system of service, is linen. It's blankets and comforters. I think we needed a lot of comfort in 2020, but he's seeing an awful lot come back, right? We're updating them, and so he says the variety is wonderful and beautiful. Linen is really strong. I also thought this was cool because he said a lot of rentals do not offer cable Wi-Fi. VHS and DVDs are a big, huge seller at the Lincoln City store. So it's a great place to go because we do get them. They come back and we're grateful. So that's a great place to save some money. And if you don't choose to shop because of the Delta virus, because of any reason you might have, we have 2 virtual stores. Did you know about that, or did I already talk to you about that?
No, you were working on that at the time, but we
Sure.
talked really about that before. Can you fill us in?
Yeah, I thank you. Well, you can go for really great media. That's music, DVDs, CDs, books, Goodwill Books. Goodwill Books has free shipping. It's no hassle returns. It's got more than 1 million pieces of media you can look at. And of course, it still helps this charity provide free job services like what Shane's doing rather. But Goodwill Books is a great place to go. It's a great place to shop. It's really interesting because, of course, we get books from yesteryear and yesterday. We get collectible books that you might have never seen before. So, and we also, while this is a locally run and locally generated virtual store, internet store, it now has dozens of other Goodwills selling their Best Buys in the way of media. a whole bunch of folks, Goodwill systems from California, Ohio, there's Tucson, there's Houston. So if you can't go home or you want to help the community there, connect to free job services, education and training. It's a good way to do that by clicking a button and getting it sent to you via the mail. The other site is interesting. Are you a collectibles person? Do you like unusual things?
I have friends that do.
Okay. All right. So tell your friends. Have you ever heard of shopgoodwill.com?
I have not.
All right. It's been around a long time. Shopgoodwill.com is a place where the most unique, valuable, odd things might be found from a variety of other Goodwill systems, including our own. Shopgoodwill.com /Portland is how you find us. But that is a really fun place. Either you can buy it now at a really low rate, or you can bid on it like eBay. Do you like to bid?
Yeah, that's fun.
It is. Oh, is it fun? I honestly have never done it before. Right. And most of these bids are 7 days. And the real experienced bidders, by the way, as been told to me, you bid the last couple of days because you can see where it's going to see if you want to stay in or out. My honey got a really great pocket watch from the Ohio Goodwill that way. He loves it. He actually brags about it. So that's a really fun place to go, shopgoodwill.com. And we do curate items from your donors for Goodwill Books and shopgoodwill.com. The really unusual or real valuable things. Goodwill doesn't sell things like a garage sale. We sell things like a telethon. The more money we can make from your best intention, the more people we can help. And that's why we exist, is to help people who are struggling to connect to a job, finding promotion within that job, finding financial footing. So it's a fun way to shop. And I know gift season is coming, right? It's a great place to really browse. Yeah, I was just going
to mention that besides right after Halloween, of course, we're on the heels of Thanksgiving and Christmas. And also I'm finding that this is the time of year when there's lots of birthdays. You have gift things, right?
Well, I didn't even think about that. Okay, so let's talk about gift giving. I'm kind of a sucker for our boutiques. It's a problem. It's not, I don't like to overbuy, but a boutique is really special. And we as Goodwill employees have to wait a certain amount of days before we can buy anything because we can have the advantage. So, I love my boutique. You have a really cool one. Have you been to the one in Newport? Yeah. So, and what's neat about, in my opinion, about the Newport boutique in particular, it's really kind of a hybrid. It's got lots of decor. It's got lots of instruments, which is not what you'd find in a typical boutique. And the prices are a little less in Newport, which is very interesting. We've found, because we've been in Lincoln City a long time. We found the folks at the coast like sea stuff. They like seascape. I would think the sea's right there, you get tired of it, but no, that's why they're there, right? Yeah, so you'll find lots of really beautiful seascape decor, and of course, the most beautiful shoes and purses are really big in that store, by the way, and home decor. I'm a sucker for the clothes, so that's a more high end. It's where maybe the luxury shopper wants to go, but does not want to pay that luxury price. It's a very good gift place, I personally think.
And Dale, let's remind folks about the two stores, where they are, and hours and contact information.
Well, sure. Gosh, you're going to ask me about hours of the boutique. I think the boutique, hold on, I'm looking at my list here. Stand by. We changed things. The pandemic has kind of changed things. I should have written this down. Talk amongst yourselves. Let's see. Well, I know that our store opens at 10 and closes at 8, Lincoln City store. Our boutique opens at 10 and closes at 6, and that's 7 days a week as well. So those are great places. In this pandemic, we were closed for a while, and what we've seen, which is, I think, really kind of neat, is a lot of the locals come back, because Goodwill in a lot of communities is a community hub. It's where we connect. It's where we look at things that we didn't know existed anymore. And when I kind of find grounding in in a Goodwill store because it reminds me of other years of my life. And I really like that. So we're seeing folks come back. So we would love to have you show up and just browse, do your thing, and just know you're doing good. Goodwill, the revenues raised from Goodwill, as I said, help persons who are struggling to learn English as a second language, who need computer skill training, who need a help to market themselves. I think sometimes it's really hard to find what you're great at. And sometimes all you need is a resume. When you see it in black and white, you realize I do have some skill. I do have ability. And that's what Shane is there for you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Dale. And encourage folks this all through the holidays, birthdays, right, whatever you need. Check out Goodwill in Newport and also in Lincoln City to find those great things. And it's a great way of giving back. You're able to shop and get some good bargains, but the money that you spend there also goes to help our local communities as well.
And of course, the donation side too. We find that being green is really what we're all about here in the Pacific Northwest. And we're really, really careful and try and stretch your donation 8 different ways to make sure it doesn't go in the landfill. We work really hard to give it some legs and find a home for it. Even if it doesn't sell in either of those stores, it still has some more stops along the way.
That's wonderful. And we really appreciate it. And Dale, thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Coffee with Kiera, again, sponsored by the Human Bean in Newport and Lincoln City. In Newport at 6th Street and Highway 101. So you can pick up some Human Bean on the way to your local Goodwill store.
Thank you for the time. We appreciate it, and have a happy Halloween.
Thank you. And we also have a Human Bean located in Lincoln City. It's at the north end of the highway on the west side next to TLC Credit Union. So thanks for joining me on Coffee with Kiera for Oregon Coast Breaking News. I'm Kiera Morgan.